Thanks for tuning back in. I'm Tommy Campbell, still bald, still in my basement, and still laughing about Sleepy Dawn asking to attend Barron's high school graduation. The fact is, the judge still hasn't ruled against this. He didn't deny it, he just said he would consider it. And since Trump is used to getting the answer he wants immediately, he had a meltdown, and the conservative programs ran with it. Lauren Boebert came to his defense and said, "The great real president should be there for his son. My father didn't come to my graduation because I didn't graduate high school. But if I did and he wasn't wrestling, I'm sure he would have been there." Trump didn't attend any of his other kids' graduations. He wasn't going to turn things around for Barron. He was just looking for another golf day. Trump sleeping is one of my favorite things since Rudy Giuliani's hair dye or the press conference in the parking lot. This guy made his entire angle that Biden is old and sleepy, and yet he can't make it to hour 2 in court without dozing off. You know, if I was under threat of going to jail, I would be very alert. What is being said about me? What is going on? I don't want to miss a thing. On today's show, we have an exclusive. We are joined by Mitch McConnell for an in-depth discussion on Sleepy Dawn. Plus, there's Fresh Stupid from Mike Lindell and more. But first, this.
Not even allowing a father, never mind a former president, but a father attend his son's graduation. And let's not forget Passover, okay? Observant Jews have a right to go and pray to who they want and observe Passover. And this judge would not allow it, not for any of the attorneys. And there are observant Jewish attorneys on the Trump team and as well on the DA team. It's just a sad state of affairs for the American people. I can assure you of that.
Well, the Melania stunt double is out there flapping the bicycle pump accident lips with utter nonsense. The judge didn't deny Trump's attendance. He just said it really depends on if we are on time and where we are in the trial. He also said they would take both the first 2 days and the last 2 days of Passover off. And for this trial, he's also taking every Wednesday off. There is no right, due process, or requirement of a party to be present for oral arguments at the U.S. Supreme Court. The parties rarely attend oral arguments. Trump hasn't attended any other oral arguments before, but all of a sudden he's interested in showing up at one that's right in the middle of this trial. He's a criminal defendant, and there's one place he actually has to be, and that's in this court, whether he's awake or not. This is yet another reminder that Alina got her chops at the 159th best law school in the country. And yes, it's fair to say that every school produces some greats, but she's not one of them. It is pouring MAGA tears. I played in 35 countries for over 2 decades, but most days you'll find me here. Thanks for taking in this bald comedian's take on things. Please join the best subscribers on YouTube while I blast the latest and stupid and more.
So, Senator, you're a legislator, but you're also a lawyer.
Yes.
Do you feel like the president can get a fair trial here in New York?
No, I mean, look at what we're seeing. This is the left continuing to melt down over Donald Trump. They are obsessed. I mean, there is a reason both the federal prosecutors and state prosecutors said we are not going to move forward with this. And then you have Alvin Bragg enter into the arena and want to make a name for himself. People know that. People are sick of the two-tiered system of justice that we're seeing. And I think that the more the media can talk about this, which we're going to see them do, then the less they have to talk about what a disaster this country is under Joe Biden. They know people want Donald Trump back in the White House, and they absolutely cannot stand it.
It's the perfect transition.
Pretty rich to see Katie Britt accuse Alvin Bragg of making a name for himself when she just did her Kevin Sorbo-directed fake kitchen table State of the Union speech. Also, I like how they point out that she is a lawyer, and I have to remind you she's married to a former NFL football player. But Biden's made things so hard for her, she can barely make ends meet. 14.8 million jobs created. Unemployment has been under 4% for over 2 years. Wages are up. The economy is booming. Katie, you named your kids Ridgway and Bennett. They too will make a name for themselves one day when they change theirs.
Is it crazy, really? Just this week it was reported that an illegal alien, and you just look at this, what's happening.
Trump appears to be sleeping. His head keeps dropping down and his mouth goes slack. Tell us about that.
Well, Jake, he appeared to be asleep, and repeatedly his head would fall down. There have been other moments in other trials, like the Agent Carroll trial, which was around the corner in January, where he appeared very still and seemed as if he might be sleeping, but then he would move. This time, he didn't pay attention to a note that his lawyer, Todd Blanche, passed him. His jaw kept falling on his chest, and his mouth kept going slack. Now, sometimes people do fall asleep during court proceedings, but it's notable given the intensity of this morning and a lot of what was being argued.
Yeah, that's rather surprising.
Yes, Trump was sleeping. The lawyers were passing him notes, trying to wake him up. There's even pictures of him with his eyes shut. But the elite strike force team is denying Trump went to sleep, saying this is 100% fake news coming from journalists who weren't even in the courtroom. Maggie was there, and after the recess, Trump stared her down for exposing him. I've made several attempts to contact President Trump about falling asleep in court, as I thought I would be someone that could support him, since I too have had my moments. So far, he has not taken my calls. At first, I thought he was declining the opportunity to converse with me because I have my name stored in my phone as Mitch McChow, since my wife and I agreed to privately combine our surnames. It is possible he saw McChow and thought it was a prank call or a wrong number. I then realized my name was actually in as McChow's, since me and my wife Chow share an email, because we are old, and I did not know that email is not like home mail. We only have one physical mailing address, but you can have multiple email addresses. It's actually very crazy. I believe that President Trump saw McChow's on his collar display, and it was easily interpreted by him as McChaos. And his smooth orange brain took a hamburger throwing detour, and he fell into a ketchup painting spiral of throwing Big Macs. Now, I'm more than aware that Sleepy Don has called me Kentucky Stucky, Great Valley Battery, and Cupcake Dog. But I think it's important to discuss matters of health with each other. I saw his sleeping photo and his a-ligga-digga-thing glitch at the rally. I can relate. I know this is a challenging time. He may miss the opportunity to see Barron graduate from high school. But from what I understand, there have been multiple offers from Matt Gaetz to attend the ceremony on his behalf. He'd even like to record it, take pictures and selfies. I can confirm that I did send Trump an email, but my assistant has informed me it came from the McChow's account. So it's quite possible I started another hamburger escape scenario. So President Trump, if you're watching this and you're awake, please pick up the phone so we can have a conversation. Can I get a bump? I had a ton of fun coming up with some Sleepy Dawn songs. Wake Me Up Before I Go to Jail, Dream a Little Dream of Me, and Ivanka, Comfortably Dumb. Got a good Sleepy Dawn song? Drop your best in the comments. If you love what I do here and you can afford to help out, throw me a buck with the PayPal link in the pinned comment or drop me a super thanks with this button. And please take 2 seconds after this video to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. These things are free and help the show grow. Thank you.
Involved, please donate. Get those apps I told you about, and then also before we go to Flashpoint already in progress, and remember I'm going to be speaking there in about 15 minutes. I want to tell you what's been going on at MyPillow. Remember, MyPillow is the most attacked company in history. There is no other company in the history of the world that's been attacked more than MyPillow. We've been debanked. They're getting me on.
I just love this because it just perfectly sums Lindell up so well. He complains about his company being attacked while demonstrating it's his fault. He did this to the company. He is the face of the brand, and at no point did he try to distance himself from the lumpy pillows while pushing his stolen election narrative. He did the opposite, attaching my pillow to every argument and saying they are for patriots, buying pillows saves the country, blah, blah, blah. Lindell loves to play the victim and talk about his employees, the same employees he jams in national commercials and pays them in pillows instead of the thousands he'd have to pay actors to do the same job. For those new to the show, I'm glad you found me. Thank you. For 2 years, I've been reading genuine pages from my special copy of Lauren Boebert's book. This is a ton of fun. I only do this once a week, and it's been pretty wild. Let's get back to it. We made it out of the cold Denver snow and into our bar and grill. The thing is, we weren't alone. I know I went off on a tangent because my attention span is as short as my emotional support hamster's arms. Wait, are they arms or legs? They must be arms, because when I feed him his weekly Funyun, he puts them in his hands, and legs don't have hands. They have feet. So my phone screen shattered like one of those windows my kids break when we're bored in a parking lot and they find a stray rock. This was the good old days before Big Brother started putting cameras in cars to spy on us. Now, the boys get bored when they're waiting for Dad outside the cash-only massage place, so I have to do some burnouts to keep them happy. The cloud of rubber and exhaust is a beacon to other patriots since it usually attracts another person dedicated to freedom and Jesus. My screen may have been in bits, but it still worked. And being stuck on my morning hot dance practice private playlist meant the party was just getting started because Hot for Teacher by Van Halen was playing. This is one of my favorite songs to dance to because I dropped out of high school before I got a chance to have a romantic, top-secret supply room relationship with an older academic smart person. I also modeled a few of my biggest dance moves off of their singer, David Lee Roth. I used our home trampoline to learn how to jump and do the splits. But the landing part was tricky for me at Lady Buns because I didn't have Mr. Roth's tennis shoes. I had 6-inch clear heels, and they didn't handle the impact that well. I snapped them and cracked them so often, Jason became a full-time cobbler. Part of me thinks he was just into the shoe repair for the glue. He used the good stuff. Eventually, I switched things over to using a camping mattress, so Jason's glue fun time was on pause. My show started like no other. I would blow for a solid 5 minutes while people just stared at me as I put my mouth to work and tried not to pass out or choke on my Newport chesty coughs as the air mattress took shape. I can't imagine what this would be like if I didn't burn through a pack of cigarettes a day. Probably impossible. Challenging your body makes it strong. And I needed my strength. It even took a lot to flip that rubber stopper closed and mount the brass pole. The first timers in the crowd, they didn't even know what was happening. But that's what made my Lady Buns work so incredible. Incredible enough to rope Ted Cruz, even though I didn't know who he was at the time. Back then, he was just a quiet front rower with a tan trench coat, a Calgary Flames hat, and a service dog named Heidi. It was like a fairy tale. If you've enjoyed this genuine page from Low Rent Boozbird's book, let me know in the comments and I'll see about reading another page sometime soon. Ops, I have stumbled onto the woke open border government provide me with everything side of YouTube. MAGA Tears. Bye Dean. Black Texas for Trump 24. MAGA Tears. Biden wears a diaper. He can't remember his name. He is a threat to the globe and needs to be in a nursing home. Hashtag Trump rules. MAGA Tears.
Wake me up before I go to jail. Dream a little dream of me and Ivanka. Comfortably dumb.
Wages are up and the economy is booming. Katie, you named your kids Ridgway and Bennett. They too will make a name for themselves one day when they change theirs.
At first I thought he was declining the opportunity to converse with me because I have my name stored in my phone as Mitch McChow.
Got a good Sleepy Dong song? Sleepy Dong song.
But my assistant has informed me that it did indeed come from the McChow's account. So
I snapped them and cracked them so often, Jason became a full-time cobbler. Part of me thinks he was just into the shoe repair for the glue. He used the good stuff.
It came from the McChow's account.
The first-timers in the crowd didn't know what was happening. That's what made my lady buns work so incredible. On today's show, we'll be joined by Mitch McConnell for an in-depth...
He may even miss the opportunity to see Barron graduate from high school. But from what I understand, there have been multiple offers from Matt Gaetz to attend the ceremony on his behalf.
Now the boys get bored when they are waiting for Dad outside the cash-only massage place. Thanks for watching. Please stick around and check out another one of my videos. Say hello in the comments. Find my stand-up on Spotify, streamed by millions, and add me on Facebook and Instagram. It all helps. Be cool, be kind, take care.